All right. Ready to unlock that millionaire mindset? We're diving into millionaire success habits today.
Definitely. I'm really interested to see what this book has to offer.
Me too. And I'm thinking it could be helpful for more than just, money stuff.
Oh, absolutely. Relationships, health, even just general happiness. Mindset plays a huge role.
Totally. Speaking of mindset, one of the first things that stood out to me was this idea of your why. Like they have this 7 levels deep exercise that seems pretty intense.
Yeah, I think we can all relate to setting surface level goals, right? Like, I want to be rich, but this exercise forces you to ask why over and over.
And that's where it gets interesting. The author talks about using this with a course participant who said he wanted to be a millionaire. Seems pretty standard,
Right,
right?
like what's the deeper motivation?
Exactly. But after going through those 7 levels, it turned out his real motivation was to make things right for some past mistakes.
Wow, that's powerful stuff.
Totally. And it just shows how this exercise can uncover those deep-seated motivations that we might not even be aware of.
It's like unearthing the real driving force behind what we want.
Okay, so you figured out your why, then what? The book talks about silencing that inner critic we all have. Any thoughts on how we can actually do that?
Well, one thing the book really challenges is this idea of focusing on your weaknesses, which seems kind of counterintuitive at first.
Right. Usually we hear about identifying our weaknesses and working on them.
Exactly. But this author, he's saying that only leads to being, well, average.
Huh. So instead of trying to fix everything we're bad at.
He says we should be focusing on our strengths. He even calls it your financial sweet spot.
Financial sweet spot. I like
Yeah.
that. So how do you actually find that sweet spot? What does that even look like in practice?
So let's say you're amazing at connecting with people, like a natural salesperson. Your financial sweet spot might be building those relationships, networking, and creating opportunities. Or maybe you're a tech person, a creative problem solver. Your sweet spot might be in developing something innovative and then marketing it to the right people.
So it's all about recognizing what you're naturally drawn to and what energizes you, not drains you.
Exactly. Find what you're good at and really lean into it.
And I'm guessing that's where confidence comes in, believing in those strengths enough to chase those goals.
It really is all about confidence, isn't it? And this book makes a good point. It's not like some people are just born with it. It's something you build up.
So it's like a skill you can develop.
Yeah, exactly. The book actually lays out what they call the 4 C's of confidence. And the first one is courage.
Courage. Okay. Like taking risks even if you're afraid to fail.
Exactly. It's about stepping outside your comfort zone because that's where the growth happens. And then once you've got the courage, you need commitment.
Like not giving up when things get tough.
Exactly. Every success story has its share of bumps in the road, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's that dedication to keep going, even when it's hard, that makes the difference.
It's about having that grit. So what comes after commitment?
This one's huge capability. You got to have the skills to back up your ambitions. It's about constantly learning, getting better at what you do.
So you need the actual ability to pull it off.
Okay.
So courage, commitment, capability. Does that bring us to confidence?
You got it. Confidence is that natural result of having those first 3. When you're brave enough to take action, committed enough to persevere, and you've got the skills to back it all up, that's where real confidence comes from.
Okay, I like that a lot. But
Yeah.
I'm curious, what about when you're just starting out and you don't feel that confident yet? What can you do?
Well, the book has a really neat tool for that they call a victory list.
A victory list.
Yeah, it's basically shifting your focus from what you haven't done to all the things you have achieved. It's so easy to be hard on ourselves.
Oh, totally. We forget to celebrate our wins, big or small.
Exactly. But this victory list, it's a reminder of your resilience, your skills, every time you've overcome a challenge. And that could be a huge confidence booster.
I love that. I'm adding victory list to my to-do list right now.
There you go. And speaking of lists, the book also talks about the power of a not-to-do list, which I thought was kind of interesting.
And a not to-do list. Okay, now you've got me curious. I'm so used to to-do lists that seem to never end. How does a not to-do list work exactly?
So think about all those tasks that drain your energy, waste your time, or just don't really move you closer to your goals. The stuff you're not good at, don't enjoy, or someone else could easily handle. Those are prime candidates for your not-to-do list. Then you find ways to eliminate them, automate them, delegate them, whatever you can.
Oh, I see. So instead of adding more to my plate, I'm actually clearing space for the things that really matter.
Exactly. The book makes a point of saying that millionaires, they aren't necessarily working the hardest, they're working the smartest.
That's a good point. So it's all about maximizing your time and energy. That reminds me of that story in the book about the author and how he changed his perspective on a perceived weakness. The part about his ADD.
Oh, right. He completely reframed his narrative around that.
It's so easy to get stuck in that negative self-talk, right? To see something as a weakness holding us back. But he was able to see his ADD in a whole new light.
He really did. It ended up being a source of passion and drive, fueled his entrepreneurial energy and his ability to, like, hyper-focus on things.
It's amazing how much our perspective can change things. It shows that we really do have the power to decide how we view our experiences, even things we might see as challenges.
Yeah, totally. And I think that's a big part what this whole book is about. When you say taking control of your mindset, your habits, even your self-talk, and then using all of that to create the life you want.
It all comes back to feeding that ambitious wolf, right? Like we were saying earlier, it's a good reminder that success isn't about luck. It's about making choices that line up with where you want to go.
Exactly. And those choices, they don't have to be these big, scary, life-altering things.
Mhm.
Often it's the small steps you take consistently that add up to something big.
Small steps, big changes. I like it. So, as we wrap up this deep dive, I want to leave you with a question. What's one small action you could take today to get yourself closer to that millionaire mindset? Maybe it is making a victory list or figuring out your own financial sweet spot. Ooh, or adding something to your not to-do list.
Whatever feels right for you, just remember, you have the potential to achieve great things. It's a journey, not a sprint, and every step counts.
Well said. Keep those ambitions high and those mindsets positive. We'll see you on the next deep dive.